happened to Shark Tank, the show that helped you tap into the mind of ambitious entrepreneurs. And it caught our attention with innovative product pitches and Kevin's bald head, which made the show gain traction and a large audience. But it seemed like this image wouldn't last because there have been reports of the sharks being greedy, manipulative, and even scamming their clients out of deals. In October 2001, Japan just aired their first episode of Tigers of Money, which would quickly gain the eyes of the Japanese audience, but there was one problem. You see, instead of it being a show where the entrepreneur will pitch their idea and the investor hears them out, it was more like a you do what I say, and you needed to beg to the investor to prove that you needed that cash. But this idea caught eyes and other television channels wanted to invest into it. So on January 4th, 2005, the UK would drop Dragon's Den, which would be the correct idea that we know today, where the entrepreneur is pitching their idea to their investor and seeing if they can close a deal on their startup company.
2010 by introducing a truly magical and revolutionary product today. We call it the iPad.
I'm up.
Yeah, that didn't happen. They caught me too, I ain't gonna lie. But this would quickly gain traction in the UK, and there was still a market that was up for grabs. So the US would see an opportunity, and on August 9th, 2009, the US will release Shark Tank, which took off and gained tons of viewership over the years. And it seemed like everyone was getting the piece of the cake. Deals were being made, and small businesses had their chance to bloom. But that's what we thought, at least. Because on January 27th, 2012, Megan Cummins would pitch her golden idea.
My company is You Smell.
Catchy name, I guess. Now, I ain't gonna lie, that shit trash. I'm not even gonna gas it up. Megan asked for $55,000 and 20% of equity from the Sharks, and she got her exact offer from Mark Cuban. But later in the show, Megan would say a heartfelt story of her having to quit her jobs and sell things in her home to make ends meet. And this is where Robert would come in and try to save the day like he's Superman. Like, bro, you're not Clark Kent. Sit down.
But I think you need a salary along the way in the first year. You have taken this and done a lot of amazing things. That's why you're getting so much interest. My offer would be to pay you the $55,000 for the 20%, but pay you another $50,000 for you to live in the first 12 months, so you have the freedom to make the right decisions and grow the business. You guys are...
Barbara, I've always wanted you to be my business mom. Starting out, this first couple of years, money is crucial. I think I'm going to go with Robert's deal.
And at this point, everything was going well for Megan. The show aired and offers were coming in, blogs were posting her new brand, and orders were just racking in non-stop. But there was still a huge problem. You see, Megan still needed money to fund the ingredients for the product. And this is the exact moment where Megan's nightmare would begin. Because after she filmed the episode, she tried to call Robert 6 months after the show was filmed to fully close the deal. But she kept on getting in contact with his assistant instead, and when she did make contact with Robert, he responded back saying he didn't know that her business was a startup company.
The market.
What is bro writing down? He is not putting down no facts at all.
I actually told a few blogs.
Oh, so you haven't sold any of You Smell yet?
No, I'm still pre-venture, actually.
You know damn well you knew. So Robert would send a new deal in the mail to Megan saying that he would give her the $55,000, but he would need to own 50% of her company instead of the 20. At this point, he's completely robbing her company on some 6ix9ine shit.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit.
But Megan will ultimately turn down the deal. And I'm not gonna lie, I would have took the deal. But since Megan turned down the deal, she had to start a GoFundMe. And sadly, she only made $5,000 out of the $10,000 that she needed to get her company up and running, which resulted in her having to shut down her whole company because of the lack of funds. And you would think this is the highest level of greed and finesse, but I think Bubba experienced the worst of the shark scams On December 2013, Al and his daughter Brittany would go on Shark Tank to pitch their company idea that they had a patent on called
And the deboned baby back rib steaks were born.
Apparently they figured out how to remove 1 or 2 bones from a fully cooked rib, and the sharks loved the idea, but they weren't glazing it that much because he only had 2 options to pick from: Kevin and Damien.
I think I'm gonna take Damon's deal.
Pick the better man, my son.
Debone the pig right in front of me.
And this is where Bubba's life will make a change for the worst.
Former Cleveland Browns player. Federal judge in New Jersey granted Shark Tank investor Damon John a restraining order against 3 former show contestants accused of defamation, including former Cleveland Browns player Al Bubba Baker.
After months of the show being aired, Brittany will break her silence and post this video to TikTok.
Did you see my dad and I on Shark Tank pitching our patented boneless rib? Well, unfortunately, business has been a nightmare since partnering with Damon John. You can read all the details in a new article by the LA Times. The link to the article is posted in my bio. Unfortunately, we're not the only small business that's been affected by this. We are sharing our story to encourage others to speak up about corporate injustices. Stay tuned as we'll be sharing all the detail about this.
After this, Bubba and Brittany will have to go to court because she broke the contract by saying what really happened after the show aired. And this is where things really crashed for Bubba and Brittany because their brand overall accumulated $16 million. And they only got $600,000 from that $16 million. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie, I would be dread. But they had to spend most of that money on legal issues, and that wasn't even enough. So they had to sell their restaurant and also sell their long-time family-owned house. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think you could be this down bad. This is a bad bedrock hit. This L will be stained in history, just like Charles Michael Yin, who would have the worst L in history. On September 27, 2013, Charles will present a fantastic idea, which was called
Breathometer, the world's first smartphone breathalyzer.
Which will be a device that you plug into your phone and it'll tell you if you had too much alcohol to drink. And this will be a great pitch. Like, bro, who wouldn't want to know when they had too much to drink so they don't gotta hop on the street, drunk drive, all that? You feel me? And all the sharks would love this idea. And Charles somehow managed to get every shark in on his deal. And this is the exact moment everything went downhill. Because after the show, people will wonder, how good is the breathometer?
I'll give it a try. I've been drinking whiskey here, but it's been, I don't know, like 10, maybe 15 minutes since I've had a drink. So we'll give that a try. It's analyzing my breath right now, my whiskey breath. And it gave me a 0.00.
Wow.
So yeah, the product didn't even work. He got on the show knowing he was selling bullshit. At the same time, it seems like Charles got $1 million from the original deal and ran off with it.
The guy, Charles, I look at his Instagram and he'd be in Bora Bora.
What?
2 weeks later, and he'd be in Vegas partying. What are you doing? You're supposed to be working. Oh no, I'm networking. Next thing you know, all the money's gone.
I guess this was a heist after all. I'm not gonna lie. This was a great maneuver. But this would sadly come crashing back down on Charles because his brand overall made $5 million. But since it was so inaccurate, he had to refund all his customers.